One evening in the year 2000, some men came to our home. They came with sweets and treats which they gave to us and some other children. I saw them talking with my guardians, but I did not understand what they were saying. And afterwards, we were told that we had to start going to lessons to learn instruction from this place where they give beneficial instructions. So on that next day, before 6 p.m., those men came back and they took us with them on our first day to this location that is found in Kano Street in Onitsha, Nigeria. When we got there, there were other children of different ages and they were all kneeling down in front of this metallic box that has a picture frame inside. And on the picture frame, there is a white woman carrying a white baby. There were also artificial flowers placed on two sides, and there were two candles lit and placed on two sides. And we joined the other children to pray and beg the mother to beg his son, who she is carrying, who will in turn beg the Father to not harm us and to forgive us for all the times that we were not perfect. And we promise to do everything that He tells us, because if we don't, we are going to this place where the Father and the Son and the Mother has prepared for us, where we would be tortured and punished and we would suffer a great deal. And at the same time, we were also told that this God, which is the Father and the Son, and another person who is the Holy Spirit, that they love us unconditionally at the same time, but we must do everything that they tell us without questioning. This God also seemed to have a very short temper, as if we fail to do what He says, this means that He would literally stop being unconditional love and become our worst nightmare, who will harm us in this place that He has built for us. But we were also told that if we follow everything that we were told to do and we follow it without questioning it, we will be taken to a place where we would not have to work so hard, go to school, or do any of those things. We will be taken to a place where we'd be happy. Now, next thing we have to do is know what His words are and what His instructions are, so that we can follow it perfectly and not be harmed. And luckily for us, His words have been compiled in a book. Although we were told that no one has ever seen Him, but some thousands of years ago, there were some white men and some white women who met with Him and were choosing to write down His word. He gave them these instructions to write down so that they can pass it down to us. And also, this God, His Son, at one point came, and because we were not perfect, His Son came and He was tortured and killed. And that happened. He made that happen so that after that, His Son's death would make us perfect and we would live happily. But after His Son had died, it doesn't seem to have worked, as we still have to follow all the instructions that we are given, else we will be severely punished. And since His Son came to do all that for Him, even though we never entered into any agreement, we have to pay His Son back for all His time and effort. And this we have to do by worshiping Him, obeying anything He tells us, and we also have to beg Him to solve our problems. Now, this book that is filled with instructions were not just written and kept somewhere. They were written and given to some persons that was very trusted. And these people are the priests in our church, the bishop, and the pope. These people are said to be very holy. They are holier than us because we that are not them, we are not perfect. We are sinners. We are dirty. This God is disgusted by us. He doesn't want anything to do with us directly. So he has these people who are more holier, and yeah, so these people, he talks to them, and then these people talk to us because he can't speak to us. We disgust him. We are not perfect. So he needs to speak with people who are more holier than us. So these people were chosen for this task as we are less holier, and we are told that we have to respect them. We have to do whatever they say because they are like a direct reflection of that God. And we were reminded of the consequences if we don't do all this. And most importantly, we cannot decide to stop coming to that place, to stop learning, because if we stop coming, there will be consequences as well. So on our first day, we were literally imprisoned, like we entered a covenant we did not know, because if we decide, oh, I don't like this place, I don't want to stop, I don't want to come here again, consequences are going to follow, and we don't want that to happen. So while we were there, soon the clock struck 8 p.m., and that is our closing time. And at closing time, we were taught a prayer that we had to say, a closing prayer. There is an opening prayer, and this is a closing prayer. And this prayer consisted of praising that God and telling him of how powerful he is, and then thanking him, and then begging him to notice us and bless us, and then we have to promise to do everything that he says without question. And after that, we close for the day, and we have to return the next day. If you don't return, consequences follows. So we have to return the next day at the same time to receive more instructions on how best to not anger this God, lest we will be punished. So on my way home that day, I had so many questions on my mind, like how can this God love me and at the same time want to harm me? Like, what is the point of his son's death if we are still imperfect? Because we are told his son came to die so that we will become clean and perfect. I mean, what is the point of his death if we are so imperfect? And these people that wrote this book that we don't know, that we are told lived thousands of years ago, what proof is there that such people even existed? How can we even prove that all of these writings are real? And if God created us all and loves us equally, how then can some people be called holy and we less holy? Doesn't that mean that this love isn't equal? Well, my dears, these questions had to wait because I needed to get home and sleep and rest, because the next day at the same time, we have to come back to learn more instructions. So in my next video, I will be sharing with you what actually happened the next day and how that is related to the first story of how we were created, and how we actually got to be imperfect, because when we were created, we were told that we were perfect, but at some point, a lot of things happened and we became imperfect. So that next day, that is part of a lot of things that happened. So in my next video, I will be sharing with you what happened that next day. So until then, stay safe and remain blessed.